Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Mark Mosey Show podcast. As we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today. This is key. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Now joining me is a very fine gentleman, and he is the new general manager of the Maxwell C Center for Performing Arts here in Melbourne. He is Nick. I'm going to let him pronounce his last name for all the people because I know, don't worry, they screw up my name. So I'm going to let you do it, Nick.
Mark, you got it right. Palmiotti, Nick Palmiotti.
Yeah. All right. I had Palmiotti. All right. I know. Do you have, when you meet people and you shake their hand, do you have to explain to them how to pronounce the last name?
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mark, for having me on. It's good to be here.
I appreciate it as well, dude. I met you at the open house at the King Center a couple months ago. It was a great event. I appreciate the invite. So we'll start there. How excited are you? You've been on the job for about 4 months. How excited are you to be the new GM there at the King Center?
I'm super excited for the opportunity. This building is an amazing building for the community. The content is great. We do great shows here. So I've had the opportunity to be a part of and run a number of facilities across the country, and this is second to none, honestly. And the community is super lucky to have this building here. So yeah, couldn't be more excited to be here in Melbourne.
Have you ever heard of Melbourne before? Okay, and it's okay. I knew the Space Coast, I knew Cocoa Beach. But I was like, wait, where's Melbourne? So what about you, especially in your journey to get there to the Kings?
I did have to look up Melbourne on a map. but I learned all about Melbourne before I got here. And, it's a great little community. It's thriving. It's grown a lot over the last couple of years. So that's been one of the things that was sort of drawing me, to this area. And, if I'm being honest, anywhere in Florida seems like not a bad place to be. So here we are.
Okay, when you sat down and interviewed for the job, did you lay out the vision you had for yourself and this building moving forward? Like, what did you say in that meeting?
Yeah. So, I had the opportunity. I ran a theater in Sioux City, Iowa before I got here. And then prior to that, I was in sales and marketing and booking for a theater in Southern Colorado. And, my view is content is king, right? People want to see great shows. And if you can bring great shows, like the rest falls into place. And when I had an opportunity to kind of look at the programming that's been here over the last couple of years, that was one of the things that was really exciting is this building is obviously generating some great shows and some great content. So, my vision is programming first and foremost. It's bringing great shows, getting the community excited to come to the King Center. And getting people from surrounding areas to come into Melbourne. That's really like my main goal. Second to that, we're a direct support organization and a nonprofit for the Eastern Florida State College. So a lot of what we do here is supporting the college. Not everyone knows this, but a portion of every ticket that's sold here goes to support the college, and that's one of the main roles we serve in the community. And then finally, I kind of have call it a romantic view of a performing arts center, right? Like I think we have a role in the community to do good art and do different kinds of things. And whether that's a Broadway show or a rock show or a comedy show, we serve a role within a community of doing good art and giving something for people to experience, while they live here. There's a quality of life component that I think we deliver to the community.
Well, like you said, coming from Sioux City, now here to the Space Coast, as a general manager, do you sit down, look at demographics and just ages, all these things where it's like, okay, this might work at Sioux City, but we got to make sure this works on the Space Coast. Do you have to break those down?
For sure. And, as I've only been here 4 months, but I've started to learn a little bit about, the community and the folks that live here. And, I'm certainly happy to be a part of the community. I've moved my family down here. Our intent is to be Floridians. I got 2 kids that I'm going to try and hopefully get through high school since, being here. So, I certainly want to be a part of the community, and I'm excited to be here. But yeah, it's a super diverse community, and from the perspective of a theater, like that's exciting because we can do content that aligns with an older demographic. We've got a comedy show with Matt Matthews coming up later this year that sold out one performance, and we're on sale with a second performance. That's a much younger demographic, so there's all spectrums of the demographics that we can serve and that are hungry for content and going out and doing shows.
I take great pride in that building from the standpoint of I've lived here for a long time. I've been to different shows there. And it was kind of sad the other day where the drummer, the original drummer Beard from the ZZ Top passed away.
Yeah.
And I went right on the Rocket and we started playing their songs. And I brought up this point. I saw them at the King Center. Like I saw them for real. And, we'll play Foreigner. I saw a Foreigner. Even the most surreal one, when I saw the Beach Boys, you can't even believe it's like they're so iconic and you get to see them right there. Do you take pride, especially in your whole career, or, hey, I put this show on for the local community and people are really proud of that?
Yeah, those of us in this business, we talk about that all the time, right? When we're at a big sold out show, I certainly encourage my staff to take a minute and look out at the audience and just like soak that in, right? Like the hours can be intense. It can be an intense job, but at the end of the day, like we're providing a fun night out and an experience for people. So I always try and do that. And the answer to your question is yes. I think probably one of the coolest things I ever did. I did a Bob Dylan concert in Sioux City last year, and there's strong opinions about Bob Dylan's live shows, but man, was that an experience. And it ranged from Dylan super fans to people who were there just to be there to people that like did love the show, right? But it was every seat was sold out, and it was just a fun experience to be a part of. So definitely things like that are notable, and you get to take pride in, and it's a fun part of this job for sure.
Did you get to meet Mr. Dylan behind the scenes?
I did not get to meet Mr. Dylan. He rolls in on his bus, walks in off the bus to the stage, and rolls out. So I didn't have much of an opportunity to chat with Bobby there.
Did the show go okay?
Show was great. Awesome show.
All right. Are there people on your bucket list? Like, man, and you don't have to answer the question, but I have to ask it. Like, are there people there like I need to get them at the King Center?
The answer to that question is yes. And Mark, when we book it, I'll tell you who they are.
Okay. I like it.
Listen, there are, again, those of us in this business, there are those iconic, artists out there, that are either in the twilight of their career, or maybe they're not in the twilight of their career, but we're all searching for. And, I think that if we can get, a handful of those iconic artists every year, we're doing a good job. So there's definitely a list out there. I'll break it to you when we've got something to announce.
I have inside information. I will know moving forward. Get it to the people. It's interesting, especially where I run 95.9 The Rocket. It's supposed to be classic rock. So what's interesting is, you'll play the Stones and the Beatles, and then, you got the 70s, especially hard on the 80s. But I know this past weekend you had classic albums. I can't even talk. Classic albums live for Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
Right. And then it's like now you're going to have 90s as well. What is classic rock? And there's no wrong answers here, because I think 70s, 80s, but is it starting to get 90s and maybe into the 2000s? What are your thoughts, Nick?
Well, Mark, I assume you and I are similar ages, and my friend, I think 90s is classic to a lot of people now, which hurts me to my soul. But when the day we hear Red Hot Chili Peppers or Pearl Jam on, as classic rock, will be the day that I'll officially feel old. But
dude, I played a Puddle of Mud song. I remember when that came out in college, And I looked it up. That song's 25 years old, Blurry. I was like, 25 years. Ugh. I don't know what's happened. What shows are coming up that you can't tell us about, buddy?
Yeah. So I'll obviously I can't go through everything, but I'll mention a couple. We've got some great country shows coming up. We've got Josh Turner coming up, and we've got Ashley McBride. Those are both this fall. From a rock standpoint, Joe Bonamassa has played here a couple of times, and not everyone knows who Joe Bonamassa is, but he is a blues legend, and widely considered to be one of the best blues rock artists out right now. So that show's on sale now. It's next year. We expect that one to sell out. So that one's super exciting. And then, we've got our annual Broadway series coming up, which that's something we program that locally here, and we put that on for the community. So we've got a great Broadway series. I encourage people to go to our website, kingcenter.com, and check out what we kind of have coming up. But super excited. I think we've got a great fall season scheduled. Plenty more that we'll announce, for later in the winter and the next year. I think we're going to have a great year for all sorts of genres and, people to come out and see something.
Yeah, that is really cool. And I just want to clarify this as someone also that has to create and book stuff moving forward. Nick and his staff don't work 2 days before a show. This takes months, right? Months to plan this stuff. It does. I'm still thinking about you with Bob Dylan, right? One day. So again, he showed up, got off the bus, went right to the stage, then went right back to the bus. Is that what happened?
Up. Pretty much.
Oh, dude.
Pretty much.
I think one of the craziest shows ever at the King Center was Nate Bargatze played. Oh man. So that was one of those things where it was right before he went on Saturday Night Live and hosted it. And that's what's cool at the King Center. You're going to get that opportunity. I know you have those great known acts for decades, but you also, like you said, with the comedians, there's that chance that next rising star might show up as well. That's really cool. It is.
And, in a building like ours, we're not a 20,000 seat arena, and we're always on the hunt for those opportunities to catch lightning in the bottle. Nate Bargatze is a great example. In Sioux City, I had an arena under my purview, and we did Nate Bargatze in an arena, and it was our highest grossing comedian in the history of the building. So for a guy that was, doing 2,000 seat theaters in 2024 to selling out the biggest arenas in the world in 2025. Great example of kind of what we try and do in this business is catch people right as they're coming up and kind of catch lightning in a bottle.
Okay, I will end with this. And Nick, I appreciate coming on. I usually ask this to broadcasters, but I will ask you as well.
Okay.
What was your first paid job in this industry? Not an intern where they actually started putting money into the bank account.
So that's a super interesting question. So my degree is actually in broadcasting, Mark.
Okay, there you go.
So I did an internship with Clear Channel in a million years ago, and I did a contract job right as I was graduating college for about a month with Clear Channel. Ended up deciding that I didn't want to be in radio. Listen, okay. I love radio. So I did that for about a month, and then I worked for a outdoor riverwalk project in Southern Colorado, and I booked my first show there. It was Foghat of all bands. I booked Foghat for an outdoor festival. It was the very first show I ever booked, so I'll forever be a Foghat fan.
All right, so wait a minute. So you're like 21, 22. You tried radio for 1 month, said no mas, I'm out, and then a couple months later you're booking Foghat. That's what happened.
That's when you put it that way. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, hey, there you go. I love that. That's awesome.
Here I am 20 years later. So
that's awesome, dude. Nick, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. I will link everything, thekingcenter.com, and I hope I can get you on again sometime. All right,
Mark, appreciate the time, man.